Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. My name's Jenna. If you're new here, welcome to Queen of Diamonds. I really hope you'll consider sticking around. I would certainly love to have you here and to get to know you better. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back and thank you from the bottom of my heart for continuing to tune in and support me and my channel. Today I'm here with a WIP and Chat, and I'm doing this a little bit differently than my normal WIP and Chats. I usually record my WIP and Chats, or at least I try to, on Thursday night, and then I upload them on Friday. But last night didn't work out too well. I will get into that when we get into the WIP and Chat portion and I start updating you on my crazy life. For tonight's WIP and Chat, or today's I should say, I am going to be working on Haunted from Diamond Art Club by Rita Konya and Aria Illustration. I am doing this for an event called Wickedly Witchy, which is an event that Heather from Diamonds and Dragonflies is hosting for her Patreon group. If you are interested in that, I will put the link to her channel in the description box of the video so you can check that out. It is a wonderful event. We've done this 2 years in a row now, and it's always so fun. So I have not been participating as actively as I wanted to. I do get my pictures posted every week, but life is just crazy. Anyway, let me show you. I don't have the original artwork to show you, so I'll put it in the screen. This is a really fun Halloween diamond painting. I don't think I've ever done one with this color scheme before. So the color palette has been a little bit challenging for me to get used to, but I'm almost done. And it's coming along so well. I love it. I'm mid-section right now. So in this WIP and Chat, when I change your angle and you'll be looking down at what I'm doing, you'll see the section that I'm in the middle of, and then we'll probably at least start a new section. We might have time to finish it. I don't know. All right, let's talk about all of the accessories I have for this diamond painting because they're so fun. I have so many fun accessories. I just got my order from Creations Morin, and it took a long time to get here because when I ordered it, I did not realize that they're in Canada, duh, and the Canadian post to the United States has been a little wonky. Some people haven't even been shipping to the United States currently. So I was really lucky that Creations Morin accepted my order and got it to me. It took a while. Thank you, Joni from Creations Morin, for making sure my package got to me. It's so worth the wait. I love it. Let me tell you about the putty that I got. I got a 5-pack of fall scented putties from her shop. And we're gonna go through these really quick and I'll tell you about them. So the first one is called Apple Orchard, right there. And we're gonna smell it really quick since I just got it. That smells like walking through an apple orchard. Oh my goodness, that is so amazing. I love that smell. And then this one is Autumn Pear. Autumn Pear. Let's smell. Stop. It smells like a caramelized pear. Oh my gosh, I love that. That is a good one. And then Hello Fall. Hello Fall. I like that one too. Very fresh, clean fall scent. I love it. Are you kidding me right now? Pumpkin chai. Pumpkin chai is the way to my heart. Let's smell. Oh my gosh. That makes me want a pumpkin flavored chai latte. And then this one is Leaves. What do leaves smell like? Oh my goodness. That smells so good. I got Creations Morin fall last year, and I actually have one here. Sorry, I know it's so annoying when I go off screen to reach for something, but I have all of these little accessories that I keep here at work. Caramel Apple is the one that I have here from last year. So that's amazing. Anyway, those are my putties that I got for the fall. If you can get Creations Morin shipped to you right now, you should try out the fall scents. I love their fall scents. I'm gonna put these in this cute container that she sent with all of the putties in them. Isn't that cool to keep all of your putties in? And then I got a couple of Wickedly Witchy accessories that will go with this diamond painting, so I'm very excited to show those to you. I got a putty box. Now I've never used a putty box before, so this will be a new accessory. Right there, we've got the Made in Canada sticker. And then I got the Wickedly Witchy tray. And it also says Made in Canada. Now, I think Joni has changed her trays. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been a while since I've ordered a Creations Morin tray. I think last winter or spring. So it has been a little bit. But they look a little differently than the last ones that I ordered. The spout's a little different. So we're gonna try that out. I love this. This is so pretty. The coloring is beautiful. And I love the logo for Wickedly Witchy, the silhouette. It is right on point. Love it. And then, okay, so those are all of my new accessories. Where is my, all right. I'm going to switch my trays because I just got that tray. I was using a Yellow Dogs tray, so I will switch to the coordinating tray for this event. All right, let's talk about all the other accessories I have here. My release paper that you will see when we point you down to the section I'm working on is from Bee's Crafty Corner, and it's the Wickedly Witchy release paper. This is cut on 4x4 sections, and I got it on glossy thick. So that's my release paper from Bee's. And then my washi tape. Check this out. This is from Simply Gilded, and it's this really pretty washi. I thought it went along really well with this kit because there's a lot of purple in this diamond painting. My pen is from Lady Lathe Customs by Design. It is also purple, and the chunkiness is perfect. I love this chunky pen. My multi-placer is from Diamond Art Club, and I need to swap out the putty because it's old putty. We got to put new putty in. My tweezers are also from Diamond Art Club, and they're the angled tweezers. And then this is my Wickedly Witchy trinket tray from WendyKsDesigns. Isn't that pretty? Look at that glitter. It's so beautiful. And then I also have a little trash pot that matches from WendyK's. Isn't that cute? And the wax I'm using is from Dream Wax Studio, and it is the apple cider fragrance. Now this is a wizard hat that I got last year, but it kind of looks like a witch hat, so I'm using it for my witch diamond painting. I think that covers everything, right? My cover minder. Now I'm not using the cover minder currently because I'm at the last row of my release paper. I just found a lost drill, but the cover minder I have been using for this is from Galloways Gallery, and it says witchy vibes. Cute, right? Okay, those are all of my accessories. The drill storage I'm using for this kit is this big one that I combined with another diamond painting. This is from my big Artdot kit that holds 420 bottles. I always forget how many it holds, 420 something. This one shares a flat with Rapunzel and Maximus, which is also Diamond Art Club. So as you can see, the stickers are the same, but one is round and one is square. Haunted is my round drill kit. Haunted has 48 colors. And with this diamond painting, we have 3 ABs and no fairy dust. So this must have been an image that was put together before they did the fairy dust drills, because there aren't any. No, I'm wrong. I take that back. There is a fairy dust. It is a beautiful yellow fairy dust. So we have 3 ABs and 1 fairy dust drill. It's a beautiful diamond painting. I'm actually really enjoying this. I just found out actually recently that a friend of mine is doing the exact same diamond painting. All right, let's change your angle and we'll get started on the WIP and Chat portion. We are at the top, and this is the very end. So we're at the very top row, which is going to be really pretty because I do believe that there is going to be a lot of purple in the center here, right here. Not so much over here. I'm pretty sure that will be a dark. Well, let's just lift them and take a look. Yeah, see, that's going to be, oh, you can't see that. That's going to be mostly dark. And then, let me put that release paper back down. This one has a lot of purple in it, so that's going to be very pretty. And then this section that we might move on to has a lot of purple. Oh my goodness, purple and pinks. I love it. So pretty. Okay, so that is where we're at. This is the section that I was telling you about that I'm in the middle of. And my angle is a little bit weird here. So I'm gonna try to get you on there as good as I can. Okay, that's still not right. I just don't have a lot of room on this table because of how my light board sits. So there we go. I do believe now you can see the whole section. I'm going to move things around a little bit there. That's better. Okay, I think we got it now. All right, let's try out this Wickedly Witchy putty box. First, I'm going to clean out the putty and the wax from my pen so that we can load up the new putty. And I've got to choose a scent for my New Creations Morin putty for this kit. All right, I'm going to clean out the wax also. I just use a pair of plastic tweezers to clean these out. And we got that all done. Okay, now we're going to try this and see what this putty box is all about. So I believe we are just going to, I'm going to put a piece of release paper down just so I don't get anything stuck on that sticky part. All right, these are my new putties, and we're going to pick one. Leaves, Pumpkin Chai, Hello Fall, Autumn Pear, or Apple Orchard. Let's go with Hello Fall. We'll go with that one. And I'm going to put this back. Okay, so I do believe with a putty box, you just probably set the putty right in there. That's what I'm thinking. Do you think you take it off the paper? I don't dare take it off the paper because I don't want my putty to lose its freshness. All right, we're going to put the putty in the multi-placer. I like to use putty here and wax in my single placer. That is just the way I prefer to do it. A lot of people have asked me why. Well, the simplest reason is this is just the way I like to do it. I'm set in my ways. I have tried putty in both, and it gets a little messy in my opinion. I'm not saying that goes for everybody. Everyone's entitled to their own different opinion, but it gets a little messy when I use putty in my single placer. And then wax is just a little tricky to get in this big, long multi-placer I have found, because you have to get quite a bit in there. And for me, it just works better when I'm filling up that well if I use putty, because it is hard to get wax in that well, in my opinion. Like I said, we're all entitled to do things the way we want to do them. And what might be a pain for me might work really well for someone else. I'm just going to stab my multi-placer into the putty like so and wiggle it around like I'm cutting cookies with a cookie cutter. And then I'm going to scrape the sides. Now, I might have to do this a second time, actually. I should have waited to scrape the sides until I was completely full. But the reason I might have to do it a second time is you're trying to fill that whole well with putty. And if your putty is thin, which this one is a little bit thinner, you might need to give it a second go just to make sure that that gets in there really good and leaves you with putty on the top to pick up your drills. So I'm going to do it a second time. And again, we're going to wiggle and cut, wiggle and cut. Let's see if we can do it this time. All right. And then I'm going to clean the putty off the sides with my nail and put that back on there. And then I'm going to press this in real good. And I think we're golden. I think we're good. I like to clean up the sides because if you have putty on the sides, when you go to lift up your drills, you'll pick up extra drills and it can be just kind of frustrating. So I like to make sure that that putty is all cleaned off of the sides real good. And we're good to go. And then we're just going to put this cute lid back on the putty like that. Oh my gosh, I'm really OCD about putty, so it's hard for me to get used to the fact that it's in here and not in its bag. But I think we'll be okay. Let's give it a try. Okay, there we go. I'm going to get my little trash pot ready. And oh, we got to put wax in the single placer end. I almost forgot about that. I don't use my single placer much, but when I do, I like to have a good quality wax ready to go so that my single placer will pick up drills. So DreamWax Studio wax is pretty soft. So I'm going to scrape it very lightly to get that wax in there. And then I just kind of press it and do it again. Just as long as there's enough in there to pick up some drills. Let me put this back in its little bag so that it stays fresh. And then I'm gonna kind of clean that up a little bit. So again, I'm not picking up extra drills. Then I'm going to press it against my fingernail. You can press it against a table, whatever you want to kind of squish that wax in there. And it's also so that the wax will not squeeze out all over your drills when you put the drills down. So that's all ready to go. Okay, put this away. Put my plastic tweezers away. And we're set. Okay, I am going to run over this tray. I like to do this with new trays. You can wash them out with soapy water to eliminate static, or I like to just brush it off with a dryer sheet. That seems to help a lot. And then we're set. So the symbol that I am on here would be the down arrow, or in our case, it looks like the up arrow because we're upside down. So I'm going to grab that color here, and that is 3740, and put it in here. We're going to need quite a bit of it. Do a little shake and a tap, tap, and then our drills are ready. That is amazing. This tray is golden. I love it. Okay, so I'll get started and update you on my crazy life. First, I want to tell you that my dad, a lot of you have asked about my dad. He is still in the rehab facility doing physical therapy every day so that he can get strong enough to return home. We are also making some changes here to the house. My mom is getting a bed that will go up and down, kind of like a hospital bed, but it's not a hospital bed. So right now they have a huge king size mattress in their bedroom, and it's a big, massive, thick mattress. I've never seen a mattress quite as thick as my mom and dad's. Because it is such a thick mattress, it's really high, and it's made it kind of hard for my dad to go from the bed to his wheelchair in the mornings, or the wheelchair to his bed in the evenings. So my mom's hope is that we can get a mattress that will be a little lower down and closer to his wheelchair so that when he comes home, he will not be struggling with that situation, because it was really becoming problematic, and that's where a lot of his falls would happen. They're also going to be making some changes to their bathroom, but those changes will probably have to be after he's home. We're hoping he will come home early next week, which would be lovely. Today is Friday, and it would be awesome if he was home on Monday or Tuesday. We'll just have to see how it goes. But his physical therapist is amazing and wants to come over to the house to take a look around and just see so that he knows what to do to prepare my dad to return home, which is so great. What a nice physical therapist. So that is where that stands. My dad's doing very well. He was a little bit depressed earlier in the week, and I was getting worried because if he gets discouraged or depressed, he doesn't want to do his physical therapy, and he wasn't making a lot of progress. But I mean, it's amazing that he suddenly got a little fire lit. I think he just really wants to come home. And so the last time I went in and saw him was, today's Friday, it was Wednesday night. Allison and I went in and saw him. That's my 19-year-old. And he looked amazing. He looked so handsome. He was sitting in his bed, and I walked in and he smiled at us, and he was so happy to see us. It was like the light was back in his eyes. Oh my gosh, what a crazy time he's had. So it'll be really nice to get him home. We actually really miss him here, so I'm more than ready to have him back. I'm sure my mom is beyond ready for him to come home because she's having to travel to the physical therapy place or the rehab place where he's staying, 2-3 times a day. And that's hard for her, especially when she's trying to make some changes around the house for him to come home. So it's been a crazy time. I'm just lucky that I was able to be here with my aunt so that my mom could really focus on my dad. Now, last night I worked, oh my gosh, I worked really late. I think I was here till 7:30. I got home at 8 o'clock, and Allison, my 19-year-old, had messaged me, and she said she got off work at 6, and usually I'm home when she gets there because I get off work at 4. So she messaged me and had seen on my, we use Life 360. We have a family account or whatever set up with all of our locations so that we can always see where we're at and make sure everybody's okay. So she had seen when she left her work at 6 o'clock that I was still at work. And like I said, normally I get off at 4. So she messaged me and said, Mom, why are you still at work? And I messaged her back and I said, I'm working late because Nana, my mom, that's what my kids call her, is Nana. Nana had to go up to Midway to my sister, who is here from California, came into town, and she has a really nice home up in Midway, Utah, which is about an hour and 15-minute drive from here. And they were making jam, which is my dad's favorite plum jam with walnuts in it. It's so good. When my mom first told me about it, it was a couple years ago, I thought, I'll pass on that. I'm not a big almond fan, or walnut. I'm not a big walnut fan. I don't really love walnuts in my jam. But my mom made it mostly for my dad because she knew he would like it. It was his mother's recipe, and his mom was an amazing cook. So my mom went up there to make that, and she was gone all day. And I mean, she didn't get home until 8:30, I think. So I told Allison that I had to work late and that I probably wouldn't be home until 8:45, 9 o'clock. So Allie, being the sweetheart that she is, ordered dinner for she and Sydney, my youngest, who is 17, almost 17. Oh my gosh, there I go, making my kids older than they actually are. Sydney is 16 currently. But she took charge and ordered dinner from Panda Express, which I don't know if any of you have a Panda Express. I'm sure some of you do. I love Panda Express. It's Chinese food, obviously. You can tell from the name. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Now, is it like the best Chinese food I've ever had in my life? Well, no. I mean, no. But it's really good anyway. Some of their dishes I just love. And one in particular is sesame chicken. Oh my gosh, it comes with this sesame glaze, and the chicken is not heavily breaded. It's just lightly breaded. And then there are yellow peppers cut up into it. And what was the other thing? And another vegetable. Anyway, it's delicious. It's very sweet. Well, not super sweet. It's sweet. And then I got orange chicken, which is they're known mostly for their orange chicken. And I got fried rice. Now, I got home and I couldn't even eat all of it. I think I had a little miniature bowl full and I was full just because it's hard for me to eat that late at night. So I ate what I could. But anyway, it was very sweet that she thought to order dinner for her and Sydney and included me in it. She knew what I wanted from Panda because I always order the same thing. And so she texted me and said, when you get home, I have Panda Express for you. So I was very touched and excited to get home and have that waiting for me. It was very sweet. And then so when I walked in, I was fixing my plate full of food, and Sydney and Allie had already eaten. They get their own thing. They don't really necessarily order what I order, but they had already eaten. So Allie had put the styrofoam container with my food in it into the fridge with Mom on it, which was so cute. Mom and a heart. And so I got into that and I was dishing it out onto my plate so that I could put it in the microwave. And the girls were met me in the kitchen, and they said, Mom, you've got to watch Phantom of the Opera with us. And I'm like, what? Why Phantom of the Opera of all movies? I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the music from Phantom of the Opera, but I have seen that movie with my aunt so many times that I'm like, I don't really want to watch that. But Allie said, I want to watch Phantom of the Opera because she and her boyfriend want to be Christine and the Phantom for Halloween. So she's trying to get an idea of what Christine wears in the movie and how she does her hair and so on. I mean, yes, she could look up pictures and find out, but Allie really wanted to watch it because she's never seen it before. Sydney has. So I said, it's kind of late. That's kind of a long movie. And I said, I've got to record my WIP and Chat tonight. And Allie said, okay. And she wasn't like rude about it, but she just kind of looked disappointed. So I said, you know what? I'll record a WIP and Chat tomorrow. Let's watch Phantom of the Opera. So we watched Phantom of the Opera in Allie's bed. It was so fun. Allie has the most comfortable bed. I've never laid in her bed before, but last night we got in pajamas and everything. And I came into the room and Sydney actually ducked out. She decided she didn't want to stay up late and be tired for school in the morning. So she said, I'm out. I'm going to go to bed. You guys watch it. So anyway, we got our pajamas on and I went in there and Allie said, come on, Mom, get on my bed. Let's get comfy. And I said, we can go watch it in on the big couch. And she's like, no, I'm comfortable in my bed. Let's just watch it in here. So I agreed to that. And I got in her bed and I'm like, what the heck? This should be my bed. It's so comfy. But I like my bed. But anyway, she has a really comfy bed. So we watched it. I think I started dozing off about towards the end. And unlike Sydney, who hates when I doze off during a movie, Allie just let me go. She was like, Mom's tired. So I dozed off and woke up towards the end. And I told Allie, I figured out a couple things about myself last night. You want to hear? So we're watching the movie. And first of all, I said, why does the Phantom look so familiar to me? And Allie said, I don't know. Should I Google it and see who the Phantom is? And I said, yes. It's Gerard Butler. What the heck? I have a massive crush on Gerard Butler. I could not believe it. I did not even see that coming. I was shocked when she said, Mom, it's Gerard Butler. I've seen other Gerard Butler films, but I never knew that he was the Phantom. And it took me, even after Allie told me that, I had to really watch to see that it was actually Gerard Butler because it did not look like him. And I kept thinking, is it wrong? Like the website that she looked at? That can't be right. Anyway, I did see it after a little while. Certain angles and certain voice certain ways that he'd pronounce his words. I could tell it was Gerard Butler. So that was a nice surprise. I had no idea. The other thing I discovered about myself. Okay. This is kind of deep, but in watching it, Allie said, Mom, which guy do you like better for Christine, Raoul or the Phantom? And I looked at her and I'm like, why do I love the Phantom? And Allie said, I don't know. I do too. And it wasn't just because he's Gerard Butler. Like I've always loved the Phantom in the Phantom of the Opera. So it got me thinking, why would I love a character like the Phantom when he's supposed to be this villainous type guy that wants to control Christine and wants to own her? I don't get that because I don't like controlling men. But I figured it out. There's a lot of situations, a lot of movies out there where I love the guy that I feel bad for. And I started thinking, most of my relationships in the past, not all of them, but most of them have been a situation with a guy who has been mistreated by other women or has had hard knocks in life in general. And I want to fix them and make them feel like it's okay. And I love a guy with a backstory, like a rough history. This is why I should not date. That's not healthy. I should be drawn to the guys who have their life together and not necessarily drawn to the bad boy type. Oh, he's got some issues. I'm going to teach him that women are not all horrible. And that has been the core issue with a lot of my relationships. Like I said, not all of them. A lot of you have asked me about Keith recently, and I wanted to touch on this a little bit. So Keith and I had a really rough marriage. In the beginning, it wasn't so much a rough marriage. It was actually a great marriage. And I won't get into why, because I just don't want to revisit the past, and a lot of it for legal issues I can't really talk about anyway. But, and out of respect for everyone involved, I'm not going to discuss it publicly. But it just, we had a lot of things thrown at us from all different angles. And it got to be to the point where, yes, I loved him and probably always will. And I cared deeply about him and his family. I mean, he's got, sorry, I just misplaced those drills. He's got 5 kids, and I had a grandchild with him. Obviously, it was a step grandchild, but I never thought of her like that. we had a lot of fun times with him. He took us to a lot of amazing vacations and a lot of really fun memories that we made with him. There's also a lot of hard things that we were facing a lot, all the time. And honestly, a lot of other men wouldn't have stuck by me through some of it. But then on the flip side, a lot of women wouldn't have been able to stick with him either, because there were just a lot of things going on. And, it's just one of those things where a few years ago, I would have never thought that Keith and I would be able to be friends and care about each other, but it's just become the norm now. And I'm grateful to him for a lot of amazing things that he has done for me and my girls, and the relationship as a whole. I'm very grateful to him for that. What it ends up being, who knows what the future will hold, but for now, it is what it is. We enjoy each other's company. Just as an example, last weekend, I was faced with a stomach issue. It wasn't a bug. It wasn't a virus. It wasn't the flu or anything. Every now and then, I have a stomach flare-up. It's happened several times, but the last time I had a good flare-up is I was with my ex-fiance, and we were camping. We were with my kids and his son, and all of his family members were there with their motorhomes and everything. And I was looking so forward to this camping trip because he was taking his razor, and we were going to be just having a blast, and I loved spending time with his family. Well, once we got up there and I made dinner, I don't know if it was something in particular that I ate. I'm not really sure what causes this inflammation, but all of a sudden, right before we were going to bed, I said, my stomach is hurting all of a sudden. And he said, what, like cramping? And I said, no, it's just like, it just hurts. It's like painful. And I couldn't really describe to him what it was. So anyway, we went to bed. The next morning, I could not even get out of bed. I was in so much pain. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago, I want to say. No, it's been like 5 or 6 years. And I was doubled over in the motorhome. I could not even get up to go out and socialize with his family. And it was a really big bummer because one of his sisters that lived out of state, well, she's in the state of Utah, but she lives down south. I didn't get to see her very often, and she was there. So I was really bummed out because I wanted to go and spend time with his family. I could not go on the razor ride. I couldn't do anything. It was the most lame thing ever. And it doesn't happen often. Like I said, that was the last time, and that was 6 years ago. And it might have even been 7. Anyway, it's irrelevant how long ago it was. But my point is, it's been a long time. So I haven't really been cautious of what I'm eating or how late I'm eating or whatever, other than just the simple fact that I don't like to eat late in general. I just feel yucky if I go to bed on a full stomach. So on Friday night last week, we went to dinner with my daughter and her boyfriend, my oldest daughter, Kennedy, and her boyfriend, Joel, who you all will be meeting on Sunday. I'll explain that later. But anyway, we all decided to go to dinner to Sydney's work. What had happened is Kennedy and Joel were originally just going to go. And then Joel came over on Friday before I got done with work, and he came downstairs where I diamond paint. Sid was watching a movie, and he said, hey, Jenna, do you want to go to dinner with me and Kennedy tonight to Garcia's where my daughter works? And I said, yeah, but I don't want to interfere with date night. And he said, no, it's not like that. So he went in and talked to Kennedy, and Kennedy texted me and said, Mom, you should come. That would be so fun. So I thought, okay, I've been there once before with, I just saw some more of that symbol. I've been there once before to see Sydney with Keith. And, this time I thought it would be fun to go with Kennedy and Joel. So then Allie texted me from work like she normally does. I always get a text from her at about 5:30, 6 o'clock. She gets off work at 6. So between 5:30 and 5:45, she always texts me and says, what's for dinner? This is like her nightly thing. So she texted me and I said, we are going to go to dinner and see Sydney. And I said, do you want to go? And she said, I would love to. So I quickly asked them if that was okay, and they said yes. So we all went to Sydney's work and saw her. It was so fun. She's such a cute little busser. And then we went pretty late. So we went there at 7, but we didn't get seated until probably 8 o'clock. Just because we were waiting for Kennedy and Joel to get there, and then they had a little bit of a wait. But once we got seated, the food was pretty quick. It was so yummy, and I was starving, so I ate a lot late at night. And I don't know, like I said, if that caused it, if it was the combination of eating late and spicy food, I'm not sure. But on Saturday morning, I woke up doubled over like I was that day in the motorhome, and it was so painful. It was just a really bad inflammation. I don't even know how else to describe it. So I couldn't really do much. Now, for those of you who watch me regularly, you'll know that the 2 weekends before that, I was sick with a virus. So the fact that now I'm on my 3rd weekend and I have not been able to do anything that I need to do, and I'm stuck again in bed, I was so beyond mad. But anyway, by Saturday night, I was feeling a bit better, but I really couldn't go and do anything. So I just I diamond painted. So thankfully I got a lot of diamond painting done, but I couldn't really get up and clean. I did clean the guinea pig cage because that's a non-negotiable daily task. So I did get that done, but it was really painful to do it. But anyway, I made it through the day, and then on Sunday my stomach was still tender, and I was really scared to eat because on Saturday I had noticed that eating would make it flare up again. So I was struggling with that on Saturday and Sunday. Needless to say, another weekend down the tube of not being able to be productive. And let me just tell you, as much as I'm hoping this weekend I can be productive, I'm knocking on wood when I say that because, let's face it, it hasn't been working out too well for me. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see. So about this thing with Kennedy and Joel. So Joel will often come downstairs where I diamond paint, and he'll show some interest in diamond painting. He'll ask me what I'm working on, whatever. Well, this particular day, I think it was Monday, he came down and said, "So when are you going to teach me how to diamond paint?" And I said, "I'll teach you how to diamond paint." And he said, "I want to learn." So I told Kennedy that right there. Kennedy was standing right there. And I said, "What if we record it?" Because I've never recorded a first-time diamond painter on my channel before. I know other people have, but I've never done that. So I thought that would be really fun. I've been trying to get my mom to do it, and she won't. I tried to get Keith when he first started diamond painting. I was like, we should put your first time diamond painting on the channel. Well, he wouldn't do it. He's camera shy. So Joel agreed to do it. And I'm going to introduce you guys to Joel on Sunday. You'll probably see it on Monday. And you're going to see him as a first-time diamond painter learning how. Isn't that fun? Oh, I'm excited for that. That'll be a fun time. So that's like something I'm really looking forward to this weekend. That'll be a good time. I just think Kennedy and Joel together are just too cute. I just can't. Those two together makes my heart so happy. Okay, so let's see what else. Fallon has been really having a rough time. He's got another bladder stone, and I might have to take him into the vet, but I'm kind of trying to avoid that because last time I paid like $125 for the office visit plus an ultrasound, and they changed his food, which I also had to buy. Now I still have that food, so I'm just going to try troubleshooting the bladder stone on my own with the food and save myself the office visit and the ultrasound. But if it doesn't improve, obviously at that point I'm going to have to reevaluate my technique and maybe take him in and have something done. Now I'm trying to avoid surgery because let's face it, Fallon is 9 years old, and I don't want to put him in a situation where he's in stress or when he's going under. I would rather not do that to him. I have had to do that every year for his teeth cleaning, but I try to avoid that wherever I can. So we'll see. I'm really praying that the food will work. But he's been really very needy. In fact, right now he's sleeping. I took him out right before I started recording, so he's been out, and we went on a walk. we went on a walk earlier today, so hopefully he will be okay while I finish the video. But anyway, bless his little heart. I just feel so bad for him because I can tell he doesn't feel good. He'll be really needy, not just to go outside, but just in general. He wants to be held a lot and kind of coddled, and I can always tell when he's not feeling himself. So we're getting through that, bless his heart. I think the change of diet, it helped last time. Hopefully it will help again. And, you know, just have to make sure that the little guy gets outside and everything. We did have a scare yesterday. This was kind of crazy. So yesterday I was leaving for work in the morning like I normally do, and I called for him so that I could put his leash on and so I could take him with me. Well, he wouldn't come. And I tried to find him. Well, he was under Allison's bed, which is where he loves to hide. And I said, come on, Fallon, and he would not come out from Allison's bed. Now, Allison was asleep because she's been on a break from school. She's just starting a new class, and she had a 2-week break in between classes. It's over this week. This was the last week. So I knew she was trying to sleep in. So I'm trying to be quiet and trying to get Fallon out from underneath the bed. Well, the little stinker wouldn't come out. And I finally decided I was running too late and I needed to go. So I just said, okay, my mom, this was yesterday, my mom was getting ready to go up to Midway, so I knew I needed to be on time for work. So I finally just said, all right, you'll have to stay with Allie then. And Allie kind of moaned on her bed because my girls don't like when I leave him. And I said, Allie, he won't come out from under your bed. But she didn't even register. Like, she was out. So I left. Well, Allie always stops here on the way to work because my mom's house is halfway to her work. So she goes to work at 12 o'clock and she works till 6. It's a part-time job because she's going to school. So she will always stop here on her way to work. Well, yesterday she stopped by and she always brings Fallon. And I heard her come in, but I didn't hear Fallon. So I went upstairs and I said, where's the dog? And she said, well, I thought the dog was here with you. And I said, no, I left him home. He was hiding under your bed. And that's when it dawned on me that she didn't even know I left him and she hadn't seen him. So at this point, I'm really concerned because that is not like Fallon. He will get up when Allie gets up and he will, he'll at least want her attention a little bit. So I said, there must be something really wrong if he didn't even come out from under your bed when you were getting ready. And she said, Mom, that scares me. So I left Allie here with my aunt. She had time before she had to go to work. And I flew home and he was just sitting on the couch. I don't know if he had been there the whole time. Probably he was hiding under Allie's bed. And then when she left, he came out. I don't know. But, I was so relieved to see him and know that he was okay because it really freaked me out. But he was just sitting on the couch. So I got him and pried him out of the apartment. It was really hard. He did not want to come. And I think it's because he didn't feel good. But if I left him home, he wouldn't be able to go outside at all. So ultimately, he had to come with me so that he had access to the outside all day. But he runs around and plays like normal. He just kind of has to go out more often. But anyway, so we'll monitor that situation and I'll update you on the poor little guy. And then the cats are all doing really good. My guinea pigs are doing great. I'm getting ready to do a big photo shoot with them with their Halloween costumes. I want to do that the first week of October because then we're getting into Halloween. And I think it would be really cute to have some of those pictures framed of them because those Halloween costumes are just too cute. I can't wait for you to see that. That'll be fun to show you that. Other than that, let's see. Everybody else is doing really well. We are just, we're just doing our thing. I was going to tell you this. So Keith has an Airbnb and he just started getting, he just got it up on Airbnb. So he's been getting some interest in it and reservations and stuff. So he had some people check out on Saturday in the morning, and then he was going to have people come Saturday afternoon. So he was in a real rush to get everything done. Well, I had told him that I would come over and help him clean up and stuff, but that was before I had the stomach pain. So on Saturday, I was able to get over there to help him for just a minute. I wasn't there very long. And then he actually said, "You're not looking very good. Maybe you just better go home." So I wasn't there very long before I was sent home. But I did get to help him. It's kind of fun, actually, to clean it all up and prepare it for the next people that are coming in. So that's fun that he's doing that. It's been keeping him very busy, though. And, but, you know, it's good for him. He loves it. He likes being busy. He's very much a workaholic. And so being retired has been kind of a challenge for him because he just doesn't know what to do with his time. But he's had a lot to do. So he hasn't really had to fight that battle too much, actually, because he's had his home remodel, and also his son is remodeling his house. So he's been helping his son with that too. So he stays, you know, he stays very busy. I'm going to go ahead and peel this next section back. Even though we may not be able to get to the whole section in this WIP and Chat, I will at least start it out. So that is pretty much my life in a nutshell. Oh, just the everyday craziness, you know. Anyway, I'd really like to know in the comments how you guys are doing and what you're working on, please. I love hearing from you. This channel has been so fun. I was actually telling my aunt's physical therapist today, she somehow diamond painting came up, and she said, "You diamond paint, don't you, Jenna?" Because she's been doing my aunt's physical therapy for a long time. And I said, "I do." And she said, "How did you get into it? How long have you been doing it?" Her mother just started diamond painting. And so anyway, we talked about that, and I told her I had a channel. And she said, "Oh my gosh, how fun." And then she was telling me that before she started doing at-home physical therapy, she did some on-the-side real estate. And she used TikTok with her group because she was part of a group that did real estate. And she said it was really hard to get the hang of it and to kind of put yourself out there. But she's like, "I think it's so cool that you do that." So anyway, it was kind of fun because it got me thinking. There are a lot of friendships that I would not have made if it wasn't for this channel. And the cool thing is the friends that I have made are all over the place. I mean, I have some here in the US. I have some friends in Canada. I've made a friend in Greece. I've made friends in the UK. I just think it's amazing how we all have this one hobby in common that gives us this initial friendship. And then it develops into something amazing. And I'm just so grateful. I have one of my viewers, you'll know who you are, I won't mention your name. One of my viewers will email me from time to time and tell me what's going on in her life. And I am the worst with email. I'm the worst. I don't know what my deal is, but I have a really hard time sitting down long enough to compose an email. Maybe I have a touch of ADHD. I don't know. I've wondered that for a long time. But anyway, she mentioned in one of her comments or emails, I think it was in a comment on one of my videos, she said, "I really wish you'd check your email more often," or "I don't know why you're not checking your email." I apologize. I am the worst with email. I need to be better, especially if I'm going to start putting my email in the description box of the video, which I need to do. I'm so forgetful about that. Now that I have a phone that's consistently working, I need to put my email and my Facebook in every video so you guys can reach out to me on Facebook or email. And then what I need to do is start regularly checking my email. It's the worst. I'm just bad. So I apologize for that to those of you who have reached out to me in email. I do try to get back to you. It's just one of those things that by the end of the day, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even look at my email today." I need to download the Gmail app. Yeah, it's Gmail. And then I'll get notifications on my phone. Right now, I'm just going to the Gmail website. Stupid, I know. But I just got a phone with enough memory to start downloading apps again. So I need to get that downloaded. And then I'll be more regular about it because something will notify me and I'll remember, "Oh, I've got a new email." So that's probably why there's been a delayed response on some of my emails. I'm just horrible. So I apologize. Really no excuse. I'm just bad. I take full responsibility for it. Like I said, getting a notification will definitely indeed help me remember to check my email. Let's see. I feel like there's something more I wanted to tell you. I just can't think of it right now. Halloween is right around the corner. Is anybody doing anything fun for Halloween? Are you going to a party? And if you are you dressing up? Are you dressing up even if you're not going to a party? I like to dress up even though I don't go to parties. I'm just not cool enough to have a party. But, you know what would be fun is to do, I should do this. Okay, I've got an idea, but I'm not going to put the idea out there yet because I fear if I put the idea out there too late and then I don't end up doing it, all I've done is given the idea to somebody else that will end up doing it. So I'm going to hold off on putting that idea out, but I have a thought that might be fun. I've got to revisit that. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to tell you is I've got to start doing lives more often. The thing that is holding me up with doing lives is I just don't know people that could be a moderator because I need a mod. And I don't know anyone that could do that for me, but I think it would be really fun to get to know all of you in a live again. The live I did for my birthday was really fun. And I'd like to start doing weekly or even at this point every other week or something. The other thing I'd like to know from some of you, if you happen to know, for those of you who are very involved in the community, I don't want to do my live on top of somebody else's live. So I need to find out who has the schedule for the lives. There is somebody out there that has a list of all the creators and all their lives and what times they are. Now, I am not volunteering to take this on by myself. I'm not. I hope by asking about that, whoever has it doesn't think, oh, well, let's give it to Jenna. No. Jenna can't do that right now. If we give it to Jenna, it will flop. Let's give it to a creator that can handle it. Somebody that already has it is probably handling it, and I just don't know who you are. So I need to find out who has the schedule of the lives right now so that I'm not doing my live rudely on top of somebody else. I don't want to do that. If it's somebody that just does a pop-up live, fine. But if it's someone who does their lives regularly and is very consistent, I don't want to be on top of you. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. So if there is still a schedule out there and one of you know who might have it, please let me know so I can find out about that. And like I said, I'll say it again. I'm not asking to take it on. I can't do it right now. No. Please don't take that the wrong way. And I'm not complaining about it either. I just want to know. So that's where I stand with that. Just some things that I've been thinking about lately as far as new things that I'd like to start doing. That is definitely one of them. What else? I'm trying to think. I feel like I have so much more to tell you, and all of a sudden, it's like my mind just went blank, blankety blank. Sid is asleep right now up in her bed right before my mom left to go see my dad. She said, after Sid's physical therapy, will you please put her in her bed and let her take a nap? Sure. Okay, I can do that. She's just really tired, and then she's always exhausted after physical therapy, so it's good that she's in taking a little nap. I think my mom wanted me to let her nap for an hour, and I had told my mom earlier that I didn't get my WIP and Chat recorded, so when my mom said, let her sleep while you record your WIP and Chat, I was like, okay, will do. Aye, aye, Captain. Yeah. Oh, books. Oh my gosh, I have found the best series of books. Oh, it's an audiobook. So it is called Secret of Redemptions. Sorry, not plural. Secret of Redemption by Michelle P.W. And I am on book number 3. Yes, I'm starting book number 3 right now. And the first 2 books are amazing. Oh my gosh. I can't remember the name of the girl who does the voice, who's reading the book. January Lavoie, I think, is her name. She's really good. I really like listening to her. And these books are so good. If you're into books that just kind of make you go, what is going on? Is it a ghost? Is her house haunted? Is somebody playing a joke on her? It's very captivating. This has kept my attention. I'm pretty picky about what books I'll recommend because, some of the books are really good until the ending, and then all of a sudden the end just is disappointing. And I try not to recommend books that I myself have not loved listening to. I really like Secrets of Redemption. So it is about a city called Redemption, Wisconsin. I don't know if that's a real city or not. It probably is, but it's a small town. And all I'm going to tell you, because I don't want to give anything away, is book number 1 is a girl who is returning to the town that she hasn't been back to since she was a teenager. And there's all these strange events that occur. And you just have to listen to it. You just have to. It's on Audible. Again, it's titled Secrets of Redemption by Michelle P.W. And I'll try to remember to put a link to that in the description box of the video. It is so good. I am really, seriously, I just can't tell you. I love it. I've been listening to it while I diamond paint, and it is amazing. So check out that book if you like the books that are mysteries, that have kind of the paranormal aspect to them, and also just storylines that just stump you and that you've got to finish so that you can hear how it turns out. That's how I have been with both of those books. And I'm so excited now to be on book number 3. There's a lot of books in the series, which is another thing I love. I think there are 7. So I'm very anxious to continue forward with these books until I come to a point where I don't like them anymore. My plan is to listen to all 7 of them, and then I'll let you know as I'm going how I like them. But right now I'm just starting book number 3. That will probably be my audio book entertainment over the weekend. We'll see. I also need to get my car registered. Oh my gosh, my Jeep was possessed this morning. It was the weirdest thing. So the dashboard was just lighting up. I was dropping Sydney off at school, and we were in the parking lot, and all of a sudden it was like my car just blacked out. And then the lights flickered back on. Then they blacked out. Then they went back on. The car wasn't stalling. The car didn't stop at all. It was just all the lights on the dashboard. And Sydney recorded it to send to her dad because, this Jeep started out as her dad's. He virtually gave it to me. So she messaged him and sent a video of what the car was doing. And he messaged me and said, "What is going on with the Jeep?" And I said, "I don't know. It's like it's possessed." So we've been in communication off and on all day today because he's had me run out to the Jeep to check some things and answer some questions. And he's kind of stumped at this point. But anyway, yes, so I have to register the car this year or this month. And like a lot of things in my life, I procrastinated until the end of the month. Jenna. So this weekend, we have to work on the car because the engine light is on and it won't pass emissions if the engine light's on. So my ex-husband thinks he knows what is causing the engine light to be on, but he and my daughter, my 19-year-old, are going to help me this weekend to get that resolved so that I can get my car emissions done, and then on Monday I'll get it registered. So that's the plan right now. I may have to get an extension if we can't figure out why the engine light's on, but this has been an ongoing issue with the car. In fact, last year during our move, Allie's registration was about to expire. And can you believe I moved a year ago? Isn't that crazy? It's been a year. So yeah, last year when we moved, she had to figure out her emissions and get that to pass, and the engine light was on. So we think it's the same problem as last year, but this whole new possession of my Jeep is new. That's never happened before. So I took back roads to get to work today because I was worried that my car was going to stall on the freeway, the highway. But I did end up at one point getting on the highway because the traffic was so bad on the back roads. So I just decided I was going to take a chance and go on the highway, which I did. And it was okay. It did not stall. It didn't stop on the highway. It ran just fine. It didn't even flicker anymore like that. But we'll see on the way home how it works. But my Jeep does have an ongoing oil leak, but Keith and I just topped off the oil on Saturday. So it's not the oil. I don't know what is causing all the flickering, what I call possession, but it really did certainly seem like my car was being haunted. We'll see when I take it in for emissions what's going on if we can't figure it out beforehand, but that was kind of weird. So yeah, my ex-husband, in fact, right before I started recording, he messaged me and he's like, "Stumped. I don't know." Yeah, you and me both. So we'll see. he's had that Jeep for a really long time. But I'm just so grateful for that car. I can't even tell you. I love it, actually. It's really fun to drive a Jeep, and that Jeep is really fun to drive. It's old, sure. It's kind of gotten beat up over the years, but it's a Jeep nonetheless. And Jeeps just, in my opinion, are really fun to drive. I just love it. If it dies on me, I don't know what I'm going to do, honestly. I can't afford a car right now, so we'll see. But I'm going to be paying for that Mini Cooper that died on me for the rest of my life. I feel like at this point, a car that I can't even use, that I don't even own anymore. We had to actually get rid of it last year when we moved because it was in the driveway of the house that we moved from, and I couldn't park it at the parking lot at the apartment complex because it was, what was wrong with it in the end was more expensive than what I actually owed on the car. So it was just a flop, and I just couldn't put that much money. It would have been 10 grand into fixing that car. So I lost the Mini Cooper, but I'm still paying that off. And like I said, I feel like at this point I'm going to be paying for it forever because it's really fun every month making a car payment for a car I no longer have and can't drive. So I really need to have this Jeep stick around as long as possible, but we'll see. Other than that, it runs great. And like I said, it is fun to drive. So there's that. It's a gas guzzler though. Goes through gas like crazy. Let's see. That's about all I've been up to, you guys. My life is kind of boring and peaceful. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Nope. I'm happy with boring and peaceful because I lived so many years in so much drama and so much ongoing just stuff going on all the time. I haven't even gotten into all of that because it is deeply personal, but my ex-husband and I went the rounds, the one who gave me the Jeep. He is Allie and Sydney's dad, and we went the rounds for many years, spent tons of money on court, legal battles that, while I understood at the time what was going on, I look back on it and I'm just like shaking my head in disbelief because we spent so much money on attorney's fees, so much money. I mean, he wanted to go through a custody evaluation because he wanted me to lose custody of the girls. And in the state of Utah, this is what the custody evaluator told me. She's like, in the state of Utah, it is really hard for custody to be taken away from the mom. Now, nowadays, what they do is a split custody, 50-50. The girl's dad and I were not able to ever pull that off because he lives too far away. So we couldn't have made 50-50 work. It was either one or the other. And the initial divorce decree declared me as the physical custody parent. But when I remarried to Keith, he suddenly didn't want me to have physical custody anymore, full physical custody. And while there were reasons that are unclear, but I lived through it, so I kind of grasped what was going on. While there were reasons that he justified it, we went through a custody evaluation, which was so costly. And in the end, the evaluator said, there is no reason for him to be doing this. I don't understand why he wants to take custody away from you. He cannot have full custody of the girls. He just can't. It's physically impossible. He lives with his mom still to this day. He lived with her during the custody evaluation, and it's a 30-minute drive from the life that they have down here. And so, she ultimately said it would be taking them from a life that they have here and putting them in a totally different city in a home that is not even theirs. I mean, they didn't even have a bedroom designated for themselves. They were staying in the guest room. So it turned out that custody didn't change at all. But we got to the point where the commissioner that we kept going in front of at the court finally said, if you bring this mom in again, I am going to end up taking your custody away. And so, I mean, he doesn't have custody, but he was going to start taking his visitation away. So at that point, the going to the court all the time stopped, and we were able to figure out a way to get along. And ever since then, it's been much better. We get along pretty well. So there was a day, though, I didn't think we would ever get along again. But, you know, time goes by and people change, hearts soften, forgiveness, that type of thing. That's what ultimately ended up happening. And, you know, like I said, we get along very well now. Kennedy's dad is actually going to be coming in town in October. That's really fun. We haven't seen him for a year. So when he gets here, last year we went to dinner with all of us, and then we went axe throwing, which was so fun. I've never been axe throwing before that last year. So he just messaged me today and said, hey, Jenna, when I come into town in October, do you want to do a replay of last time and go axe throwing again? And I'm like, heck yeah, I do. So in October when he comes, we are going to go axe throwing and probably dinner again. That was really fun. My girls love seeing her dad. That's all, you know, we all get along. I've never had any issues with Kennedy's dad. We've always gotten along and respected each other. It's been a really good situation that we've been in for the sake of Kennedy. Hey, did you need me?
I was just going to see if you go get Sydney because my UTI is really bugging me, but it's...
What time is it?
Now,
Oh, okay. She can walk home. She walks home every day.
Oh, okay. I'll tell her to do that then.
Yeah, just have her walk home and then you can pick her up there when you're feeling better.
Okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that was Kennedy. She's not feeling too great today. But yeah, I've never, he and I have always gotten along really well. We don't have any issues, so that's good. Anyway, all right, well, I think I'm going to end here even though we didn't finish this section. I can't wait to show you this diamond painting completed when I do my month in review for September. This is really a pretty one. I'm very pleased with it. I love Diamond Art Club's round drills. I think they're so sparkly and pretty. And this has a lot of ABs that I think are just very lovely. So we'll be taking a look at that a little more in depth in the month in review. So watch for that. Thank you so much for joining me for this WIP and Chat. I hope you're all doing really well. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you this weekend. Bye.